was going to talk about, when you get on runs like this, it can affect people in different ways. How are you finding it affecting you, if at all?
It doesn't affect me at home. Doesn't do that. I don't allow it to do that anymore. But I think that's experience. I think that's resilience. I've had to go through a few things in my career that kind of help you develop that resilience to it. So I got that. But listen, of course it affects you at work. I want to do a good job. The players want to do a good job. We've felt the climate at our club when everyone's behind us. I much prefer it that way than people being critical, and rightly so. I've got no beefing, negative sort of reaction to that. I agree with them. We're having negative conversations or confrontational conversations about it, so it's purely natural. I'd rather we all be one, and that has to be led by the team. That has to be led by the team, and the team is me, and the team is the players, and the team is the staff. I think the biggest frustration for myself, and Terry and I were talking about this earlier, was we feel like we get to a point where we're looking forward, and the injuries just absolutely kill us, really, really hurt us and harm us. And then what we thought was the right shape for those players is not the right shape for another group of players. And we've had to chop and we've had to change. And it looks like we're chasing, a best team or a starting 11, but it's further from the truth. It's always trying to fit the right players into the right shape and mould. To win games, whether it be your first one or your 15th one. So that's been the biggest frustration for me, and that's a frustration. Even just before we started this conference, that we're looking at it and we're looking at the group of players that are not available. And listen, it is negative and it does concern you, because it's only really the really, really major important ones that seem to get injured at these times. So that's disappointing, and that's something we're looking into, and amongst other areas of the club.
Are there any fresh ones that we don't know about from the last time we chatted?
Well, poor old Josh, who I thought was a lion at Stockport, an absolute lion, has hurt himself in the Tuesday game. So I think he'll be out for a while. Josh Staunton. Collins is still away. Wilkinson's playing with painkilling injections most weeks to get through. For me, really, Alex Bradley has been injured since Stockport. Lawson Diaz only just returned to training. Dagnall was ill after Tuesday, and he had returned to training today. So yeah, there's fresh meat in the cellar all the time, I'm afraid, and that is, that's the biggest frustration, because you can only you work with who's available. You try and set them up as good as you can, and it just seems every time we set up to do something one way for the long haul, we have to come away from it. So there's a lot of chopping and changing that doesn't help. It doesn't help. It doesn't help when you're changing shape and systems all the time. People want clarity in their jobs, clarity in their working life, and if you're changing all the time, if you're changing the strategy of the team all the time, then it makes it even more complicated. But again, and I'll say this until I'm blue in the face or 6 feet under or whatever, they're a wonderful, wonderful group of men, and they're working tirelessly. I mean, I gave them their first day off in 14 the other day. We did 14 straight days, including the games, just to try and nail us down. And in time we'll see the benefit for that. I fully believe that.
Yeah, and you mentioned in amongst all those names a lot of experienced players, and they kind of, having been through the other mill at various different clubs, they'll know how to deal with it. Do you have to be especially careful with the other youngsters at a time like this when results aren't going that way, and it's very easy for heads to drop pretty quickly?
Well, I'm not sure it's young and old. I think it's character. I think it's character, and I think that's the important thing. And it's having players of character, and it's always having character, and it's always having players that are ready to fight. And I'm quite a assertive chap myself, and I come out fighting when I'm confronted. There's no way I'm not swinging. So I think it's having that character. It's having that character. I know, I've got to say, unfortunately, this isn't the worst run I've ever had in my career. So I've had worse ones than this. But and it's it does flip. It does flip, and I'm very fortunate that the ground rules that Scott sets for me enable me to think clearly. I'm not under that, and that's good leadership from our owner and his board. But it's you've got to have that character, and you've got to be brave enough, and you've got to be confident enough, and have that belief. And like I said, with this group of players, I'll never lose faith in them. We may add to them, absolutely. We may add to them, as you've seen. We definitely had to. We were nowhere near the same resource that we were last year, but that's no one's fault. That's the climate football was in, and we feel in a position now where we can probably reinvest in the team and try to add a few more ingredients to the mix. And that's always good for a manager to have some new ingredients and some new positions and some new bright sparks in there, just to kind of ignite it all. So it's been interesting learning about Sanupe and Knowles, and great to have Dagnall back because of his character, amongst others. Gabe O'Shows and players like that. So it's always nice to kind of reinvent the changing room.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of further additions, are you now looking at January realistically before you can do much more tinkering?
No, look, with the injuries we have, we're going to still have to bring in players. I think we've got 5. Everyone is at the back. So I say we've got 4 defenders fit, plus Wilkinson, who is declaring himself fit. And so I think we're always on a precipice there. I really do, and we're ready to do that. And we're ready to push the button with alternative arrangements for that moment. But that's part of it. We had it last year. We had the same last year. We probably had a little bit more experience in the dressing room last year, probably a little bit more character, and that's where people always have to kind of appreciate. It's all right saying it's an old team and it can't run, but you've got to have character. Character is the most important. Carries you, and it carries your team, and it carries you down the tunnel, and it carries you through a campaign. And it's important. I thought Dagnall was a really important re-addition to the group, and it was his desire. He drives from Liverpool. I mean, incredible commitment, incredible professionalism, and great character, brilliant character.
And great that you're in a position as a club to be able to, invest and bring in a player or two at a time when, there's a lot going on off the pitch, whether it's the sale of the other ground or Errol leaving last week. Are you sort of once removed from that? Can you just keep your tunnel vision on the other team, or does that have a knock-on effect into you?
I haven't seen anything else but the team. I wish I could open my eyes to the outside world. I've got no idea what Boris is saying at the moment. I don't really know what's going on in the Premier League. My focus, people need to know this. You very, very much submerge yourself in any moment in a winning run or a losing run, and it's an intense thinking process of football season for a manager. And I'm fully submersed in this. This has got to work. Club. I think it's a brilliant group of players. I love working with Terry every day. I even like speaking to you two donuts every now and then, even though you're being very gentle with me today. Adie's not happy about being called a donut now. I can see him. But we want to make it work, and we're very, very determined to make it work. And I still have absolute blind, devoted faith that come the end of our campaign, we'd have made it work. I really believe that. I think also it kind of the calendar. I said this to the players, some of the senior players when we was having he said, December, when you get to Christmas, you almost feel like you're at the halfway point. Whereas we've just gone past, we're not even past the quarter. We're not even past 25% yet in terms of games played. So, it's a distorted feeling to be in December and only have a quarter of the season played. And it feels weird. It feels like we've been in longer than what we actually have. So, there's lots of things. Football has been so different this year. So different for so many people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very fair point to make. So, Bromley, I guess, is one of the sort of brighter memories of this season. Is that something you can use going into this game?
Yeah, there's only two. There's good side, strong, established men. Don't give you an easy game. I mean, even when they went down to 10 men, they made life, difficult and interesting, and they do a terrific job. And it's a club that's really risen in its infrastructure and its facilities. Good team. I watched them play Stockport Saturday, and they were very unfortunate. I know it looks, Stockport winning 2-0, but Bromley made a host of chances. And Neil, I'm guessing, would have been afterwards leaning towards, if we'd have taken our chances, type reflections. They'd have won the game comfortably. So, good side. We played them a lot in my time. I think this is the fourth time we're going to play there. Absolutely, you can always, as a benefit, you can always use it as an advantage. And we go there, and I want to stress this point. We go there with real belief, real faith, and we go there with a mindset of the long-term project, the long-term picture of finish this season right.
That's great. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
I love donuts, actually. Jams.
Yeah. I don't like them, got to be honest.
Oh, don't you?
No, I don't.
You don't know what you're missing. Darren, you've had a good long break now in terms of games. Has that enabled you to, get a lot of work in with the team and get them up to a better level, do you feel?
I don't think the general level of our play age been a huge problem. We've made some really, really bad mistakes, not just defensively, and it's important we stress this, and if I brought the forward department or the attacking department in the room, they would miss. Yeah, and we've made some really, really poor defensive errors in that sort of zone of the pitch, and the standard of the play, not getting walloped. We're not getting a hiding off anyone. We're just making some really bad mistakes all in one go and all at one time. And when you go through that, it is what goes on between the ears. And we've tried to work really hard psychologically with the group. We've tried to look at every element, little things, kind of way in which we're living differently this year to last year. Last year we had lots of settled play. We're trying to catch that up now so that we're getting people out of hotels. Living in a hotel does you no good. We're looking at all elements, real detail to our reflective sort of study or assessment. And we're trying to make sure that the players are given the best chance of performing as well as possible week in, week out. So, I think the hotel thing for me was big. I hate hotels. And one night for me is a pain, a real pain. Some of them were staying in 3 or 4 nights a week. So I think having a house, having some stability, having some roots, I think that's really important. So we've been supported in that. and also the new additions to the squad just allow you to go over everything you've done before, and it's reminders for the existing established ones, and it's new for the new addition. So, but no, we've looked quite deep into everything. You can't just look on the pitch when you're talking about a mentality of a player. You can't just look on the pitch. You got to dig a bit deeper than that.
The fans are back. Tuesday they're going to be away fans only, but Saturday you're going to have some fans back into Hughes Park.
Yeah.
What the difference is that? Is that going to increase the pressure, or is that going to?
No, I can't wait to have them. I can't wait to have them. Honestly, it doesn't feel right, and when our ground with fans is another player. It's another player, and people will say, "Well, you're leaning on this as an excuse." Bloody right, I am. They're great. They're a great set of supporters. They make a lot of noise. They can make a lot of noise if it's not going right. That's fine. That's what you're entitled to when you buy your ticket. But just noise, atmosphere. We've got to get back to being a really horrible place to play at. And like I've said all along, whenever I've been here at Hughes Park, there's always been an anticipation and aggression from the stands. I can't wait to have it back. I really can't wait to have it back.
You've got basically 3, pretty difficult games coming up. Do you prefer it that way, or would you prefer some? I mean, I guess you could say there's no easy games in this league, but the ones that you've got coming up don't look exactly easy.
No, none of them look easy. You can get yourself in this role and in this form, and none of the games look easy, do they? It's just kind of human nature, and it's the mentality. But what we've got to do, we've got to make sure we focus, really, really focus on what we are, what we've become great at, what we've maybe left behind and not dragged with us this year. And we've got to have that focus, and we've got to have a focus on winning games, not losing them, not going down the tunnel with, I hope I don't make a mistake today. I hope I don't let down the gaffer today. I hope I don't let down my mates today. We've got to go out there with the same, attitude that we've had for a long, long time here, and that's we're Yeovil. We're a fantastic club. We've got some good players. Let's go and win the game. Let's go and win the game. And we can't find our courage and our bravery at 2-0 down or 3-0 down. We've got to be brave from the. I think we might have aspects, and again, when you do talk about the players that are missing, the characters and the personality that's missing, they drag that along naturally. But we've reminded them a lot this week about who we are, what we're really good at, what our targets are, what we can still achieve, and we can still achieve everything that we want to achieve. No doubt in that, and to keep that belief and to keep that faith, and they certainly have done, and they certainly will do.
Have the off the field goings on had any effect on you and the team?
No, not really. No, we've been working. Like I said, we've been working really hard, really, really hard. I mean, the 14 days in a row was a chance to really kind of get some detail and intensity in. I gave him a day off Saturday. We were in yesterday. Was in Sunday night. We were, on the Hewish, just something different. But a lot of teams would have taken the easy way out, weekend off, or train early Saturday, see you Monday. I thought we did it the right way, which isn't always the easiest way. And we reported and trained very hard, and we've trained very hard again today. And what we've got to do is we've got to keep an eye on what the goal is. Not only the short-term goal, which is obviously a first win. Of course it is, natural. But our long-term goals of, this club getting back into the EFL, and that's still our goal, and that's still something I think we can achieve here.
You've brought in some new faces, all relatively young. Is it a definitive sort of policy? You're trying to get younger players in now, or what?
No. Just good ones. Just good ones. The market was really great. Position to work. That's no one's fault. That's just was at that time. And what we've done is we've looked at our options. That Dagnall being unattached still, and we wanted to keep him at the end of last season. Was able to bring him back. It's a great character to have back in the group. Sinupe, I was always an admirer of when he was at Tottenham, and met him when I was manager at Stevenage. I thought he did very, very well in his first year at Stevenage. Had a bit of an indifferent year last year. Tom Knowles is a young player I've known since his youth team days. Very quick, very direct, maybe one for the long haul rather than for an immediate sudden impact, but his pace will impact when called upon. Gabe Osho we know really well. Terrific player. He left us and went and played 10 games for Reading in the Championship. So good options. Quigley, I think he's done smashing since he come in. Murphy's working his absolute heart out to be as fit and as productive as he can, as is Courtney. So I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with Gabby Rogers' development. He's coming along nicely. And we just need it. If I could have anything, I just wish we'd had a cleaner bill of health. I really do. And I think, if we can have that at some point. And again, when I talk about looking at other areas, we looked at our medical department and trying to maybe get some expertise in so that we don't have so many breakdowns so much. But really great to have those new ones in aid. I had a long career in youth development, and I do like working with young people. And they've been exciting, really exciting to work with.
Will they help you, with the diamond formation? I mean, you need a bit of pace with the diamond. I feel that's sort of part of what the thinking behind them signing.
Well, what we had last year. Don't want to talk too much about last year, but what we had last year is we had Romeo Hutton, who was very quick. We had one of our better players last year was Miles Hippolyte, who was quick, and we had that nice dynamic. And there were times where I could use Tilly and Hippolyte, and there were times where I didn't need one of them because I knew I had Hutton flying down the right hand side like an absolute steam train. So you can never replace players like for like. You can't, not in our financial resources. But what we tried to do, Sinupe is as close to Hippolyte as I've seen. He's played more league games than Miles has. Younger, very quick, good intelligence, good upbringing at Tottenham. And we've changed and we've chopped systems to fit the players that are then available, So it's we've all of a sudden had more forwards in the building, and we've played a front three, which I thought we played very well at Stockport, and not so well on Tuesday night against whoever they were.
Yeah, I was trying to think as well.
Eastleigh, sorry,
yeah.
Ben, Eastleigh. Yeah. But yeah, so it's so it's lots of different things, lots of different formulas. It gives us the option to have a little bit more width. Knowles and Nerfville are, kind of out and out wide players. Sinupe's a clever one like Miles was, and we just feel a little bit fuller now with options of being able to do something different. So the diamond may become a thing of the past. It may be something we use, at different times. But you got to be flexible and adaptable because the rating of players are becoming unavailable. It's quite alarming.
We kind of got to the point where Rhys Murphy was almost like a goal machine for us last season, and now suddenly I won't say he can't buy a goal, but they've sort of dried up a bit. Do you think that's going to be one where once he gets the first one, a bit like when you get the first win, it'll be all systems go?
Yeah, I think the team and Rhys, or that kind of department, we've started to chase it a little bit. That's how I feel. We've started to chase and stretch, really stretch, and that's sometimes not the mentality to have for things to be successful. Rhys is a wonderful, wonderful finisher. I see this on a daily basis. He's a great character, good lad. Someone I really trust, someone I would love working with. And it will come for him. It really will come for him. He hasn't started right. He didn't have the best pre-season in terms of being able to try. But, he's worked really hard to get himself fit. And I must say he's looking physically the best I've seen him in my whole time here. And I know that, I know from personal experience that, when you do go down the tunnel and you feel at your absolute fittest, that you do get a certain confidence and glow about you that that gives you an advantage over feeling unfit and a bit, and a bit sloppy. So yeah, it's only a matter of time for that lad. It's only a matter of time. And, he's been, he's again, like everyone in this group, me included, he's made some mistakes and he's recovering from them mistakes, and we're helping him recover from them mistakes, and he'll move on. And the great thing is when these kind of runs happen, when you do come out of them, you're stronger in the long haul. You're strong in the, so that's why I'm always upbeat. That's why I'm a positive person. I don't want to live my life kind of with this big daunting grey cloud over my head. So, I choose to live it far more positively. And have I thrown them, metaphorically, of course, at the players? Yes, I have. And at the flip chart, and at the tactics board, and at the kit container. But, look, we'll give it our all. We're giving it our all. We're working really hard. And, we're suffering like the other, like everyone out there. We are really suffering. And we know that we've still got time to make this good.
One always thinks of you're the motivator. So who motivates the motivator?
Oh, I've said this. I love winning. I love winning, and every game's a chance to win. And whether you win 7 in a row or you lose 7 in a row, I want to win the next game, and I want to get through. The worst bit of losing is the initial feeling, immediately after. The difficult conversations that you inevitably have to have with players, with those things. But I want to win, and I'm a winner by nature. I don't choose to just win at football. If I have a box, I want to win. I want to win the fight. If I choose to have a game of pool, I want to win the game of pool. So winning is in me, and winning will always be in me. And whilst I'm manager at Yeovil, I'll always try and go out and win the game. The easiest thing for me to do now will be to play not to lose. And we won't do that. We'll keep coming out and firing everything we got at whoever we play, because I believe in our the size and our tradition of our football club and the support base we have, and I think that's what clubs like this need. And eventually you throw enough punches, you shoot enough shots, you try enough, it does come, and it will do. Hopefully it will come tomorrow night.